Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. Uh-huh. It is Monday, April 27th, 2020. And oh my God, guys, I gotta tell you this one. I'm dying to sneeze. I want I want to sneeze. I've been trying to sneeze and the sneeze is there but it just won't come. I think the sneeze is afraid that if I sneeze, people might think I have COVID-19. The sneeze don't want to come. Oh my God. But there's a sneeze there. So excuse me if it comes at some point in time. Yeah. Guys, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. How was your weekend? Mine was fabulous, right? The week starts on a Sunday, really. So today will be the second day of the week. So I want to give you my testimony about my weekend, how it was, yeah? If you missed that episode, go back into my library. Not now, when this is done, and go and watch yesterday's episode. You don't want to miss it. You really want to watch yesterday's episode, yeah? Awesome, awesome. Before I go any further, I just want to say a happy, happy, happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday to the Honourable Olivia Babsy Grange. Yes, the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sports. Today is her birthday. So I am wishing you Minister Grange, a very happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Babsy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my lady. I hope you have this wonderful, wonderful day of relaxation. I know you're probably busy working, but I hope you get a chance to enjoy your birthday today, okay? And for all other persons who are celebrating birthday today, April 27th, happy birthday to you all. Mwah. Enjoy your wonderful day today, a special day, okay? All right. All right, guys. So today I have a wonderful, great program for you today. It's going to be great. If you haven't already done so, call your friend, your family, and say, come and watch. Send them, if they're not with you, send them the link, guys. And remember to subscribe. Subscribe. I see you guys watching. Some of you not subscribing, but you gotta subscribe, guys. It's important to subscribe. And for all my subscribers so far, thank you, love you, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate you subscribing and participating. Yesterday, I had some participation on the program. Yes, persons were commenting, and I love that, guys. Remember to comment on anything that I say, that whether you agree or disagree, because we can't agree on everything, right? So I'm gonna say things that you disagree with. That's okay. I don't mind. So I am saying, if it is that I say something that you don't agree with, feel free to comment on it. I won't mind. I promise you, I will not mind at all. Absolutely not, because I understand that we are different, and so we have different opinions. Nothing is wrong with constructive criticism. Nothing is wrong with healthy debates. You see, when we have unhealthy debates like quarrels, that's a different story. But we can agree to disagree, right? Absolutely. Remember, guys, why I'm here. I'm doing this because my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Yeah, and I'm not pretending to know everything, right? But I do know a few things. I'm a student of knowledge like you, and so what I know, I share. And so what you know, you are supposed to share too, right? Okay, so share the link. All right. Okay, guys. So I have to start with this. Always have to start with this because it is news, it is current, it is what is happening, right? And you know that COVID-19, the coronavirus, it just keep rising in Jamaica. And of course we know why. So I'm going to give you some information with regard to that. So as of last night, Jamaica had 350 confirmed cases of the coronavirus disease, COVID-19. Can you believe that, guys? We are now up to 350 confirmed cases. So I know I have some persons, you guys are into big data or big data, yeah? You want details of these, what a breakdown of these numbers. I'm going to give you a breakdown, okay, as to what's happening here. So Here's what we have now. So, of course, clearly, we have 45 new cases, right? Because yesterday I told you we were 305. And after I gave you that news, we went to 350. So we had 45 new cases in a 24-hour period. But before you get alarmed, let me give you the breakdown. Okay, so first of all, we have 19 males and 26 females. And the age range, guys, from 1 year to 75 years old. So we have, a matter of fact, this is in the 45, but do you know, of the 350, we actually have a 2-month-old with the virus? Oh my God, can you believe that, guys? A 2-month-old. We pray for these families, don't we? We have to keep them in our prayers because a 2-year-old, how can a 2-year-old survive this? Yeah, only with God's grace and mercy. Yeah. So 11 of the 45 new cases are employees with Alarica. Surprise, surprise, right? So 11 of them are they directly work at Alarica, right? 14 are contacts of these persons who are confirmed cases, right? So of course we expected that, guys, right? So these persons, they have families. They go home to their parents, their grandparents, their children, their loved ones, yeah, their spouses. So of course we would have expected that these persons would have also contracted the disease, yeah. And so we find that we have 14 that are contacts and 10 that are contacts of other confirmed cases, and there are 10 that are under investigation because during their contact tracing, they have not found the reason the means in which, or the method by which these persons contracted the disease. There is no direct trace. So they're under investigation, that they're saying. So you realize now, guys, out of our 350 number, right? 178 alone belongs to Alarica, more than 50%. Belong to one call center. So we could always debate it, as to, if they shut it down and this and that and that. But, the horse is already gone through the gate, as they would say, right? So it is what it is at this point in time. They were made to be open, to stay open, and this is what happens. Okay. Of course, some persons will also argue the fact that you're talking about a 40,000 employee industry, and to shut it down would mean that you put 40,000 persons out of work. Well, here it is now. They're all closed for the next 2 weeks anyway, you understand, or a week and a half by this, you understand. And so, again, could things have been done differently? Of course, they could. All things can always be done differently, right? So, anyways, overall, we still have our 34 imported cases, right? Nine cases that are local transmissions. Okay, they're not linkable, right? And 94 are contacts of confirmed cases, with 35 totally overall under investigation. Okay, so in the last 24 hours, they tested 395 samples at the National Influenza Center, right? So of a total, they have tested 3,262, right? So the total samples to date, 3,262. So it seems to me, guys, that they have employed that new machine that they have. It seems that that machine can do up to 1,000 in a 24-hour period. It's 300 and something per 8 hours. So if they decided to do like three 8-hour shift, they could. But obviously they did not do that. But they probably used the machine and probably had one session or 2 sessions, right? Because they tested 3,262. That seems like they had a session or 2 over the last 24 hours using the machine. And of course, from that number, we have 350 positive, 2,890 that are negative, and we still have, guys, 22 that are pending, which means that come tomorrow, I'll be giving a new figure. Yeah, there are now 321 patients in isolation and 91 that are in government quarantine. Yeah, and thank God our numbers have not gone up in terms of the number of deaths. We still only have 7 deaths from the COVID-19, but we still have not gotten any more recoveries either. We're still at 28 in terms of recovery. Yeah. So that is it for the big data. big data. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this one, guys. The Prime Minister, the Honourable Andrew Holness, is expressing sympathy to the family of Jodian Fearon, who passed away over the weekend, after she gave birth to her child. Farron was scheduled to have her baby at the Andrews Memorial Hospital but was turned away after suspicion arose that she could have the COVID-19. According to the Prime Minister, and he was tweeting because he's following in the footsteps of Donald Trump, so he tweets. So you can't misquote him because he tweets. He's a big tweeter. Whether he's tweeting or his aides or aide is tweeting, but tweeting is happening all the time. And I think he has aides who are assisting him actually, because I've seen even during his speech when he's actually speaking, tweets are being tweeted on Twitter. So I think he has help there. Yeah, but so he tweeted on Twitter. I received a preliminary briefing from the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, on the tragic circumstances surrounding the death of a mother after giving birth. My heart goes out to the family and loved ones of young Jodian Fearon. So, guys, this has been a big thing over the weekend, right? Because, this mother was supposed to have given birth. She had an appointment at Andrews Memorial Hospital Thursday of last week, the 23rd of April, right? And as it was said, that she basically went to Andrews, was turned away, and ended up, we even hear she ended up at the Spanish Town Hospital. We heard all kind of stories. So I was on Twitter and I saw the mother was tweeting, asking for help for assistance, because she even tweeted to the Minister of Health, and she tweeted to the Gleaner, and she was just tweeting, trying to get persons to assist her, right? Because she felt she was not getting any help and her voice was not heard. She was not being heard, right? And so she was tweeting a lot. So persons pick up on this story. I think I don't watch TVJ. I'm so sorry, TVJ, but it just I don't have the wherewithal to watch TVJ. I would have to watch it on the internet, and I really don't have that bandwidth on my data plan to do all of that. So I don't really watch TVJ, but I do follow in terms of like on Twitter when tweets are made, I see them. Okay, so I saw that some of the tweets out there, and that's why I started to study. I started to research the story, right? As you know, yesterday, again, if you did not see yesterday's episode, go back and watch it. Yesterday, I spoke about it, but I did say yesterday, as you know by now, I don't give you one side of a story. I like to give both sides of a story, okay? Because I like to be balanced, That's what true journalists are supposed to do. And I'm going to get to that story when I talk about the index. You heard we were up in points on that index, right? The Freedom of the Press index. We're going to get to that story. But the point is that as journalists, we're supposed to be neutral, right? Objective. We don't take sides. We report both sides of any particular incident or issue, right? That's what we're supposed to do. And so I gave you my 2 cents based on what I heard, but I also told you to take it with a grain of salt because of the fact that we did not have both sides of the story. Okay. So having heard to some extent the mother's side and other persons and pundits are giving their side. Now, Andrews Memorial, they came out with their side also. Okay, so I'm sure you guys want to hear their side of the story. And when I give you the stories again, comment on it, please comment. Tell me what you think. I want to hear your views, okay? I give you my 2 cents. I want to hear your 2 cents also about this, okay? So here, I'm going to give you this. I'm reading the full statement from Andrews Memorial Hospital that they issued. There have been recent reports in the media about a patient who was initially presented to the Andrews Memorial Hospital, AMH, with symptoms of labor, and who, while admitted to the hospital, started to show symptoms of the COVID-19 virus. AMH understands that the patient, who was subsequently transferred to another hospital, died after giving birth to her child. AMH wishes to express our deepest sympathies to the patient's family and friends and wishes the best for the health of the newborn. We respect the family's privacy during this difficult time and will only give a brief statement to clarify the role of AMH, which is being debated in the media. On Thursday, April 23rd, 2020, AMH admitted a maternity patient from one of our obstetricians. My lisp make it difficult to call these words. But the OBGYN, right? With practicing admitting privileges to deliver her baby. The patient began to show symptoms of the COVID-19 virus, including cough, fever, and shortness of breath, and concerns were raised about it. One, the safety of the patient and her baby, because AMH is not equipped with a functional intensive care unit, ICU, to provide respiratory support. And two, the safety of all other patients and their babies in the maternity unit, since AMH is not equipped with isolation facilities on our maternity unit. Okay. A decision was made to clear the maternity unit of all the other patients to ensure their safety. The University Hospital of the West Indies, the UHII, and Victoria Jubilee Hospitals were contacted about transfer of the patient, but they refused to accept the patient. A plan was put in place to manage the patient by her physician. On Friday morning, her doctor recommended an urgent C-section. The patient was then prepped and made ready for surgery at AMH. Other surgeries were postponed to facilitate her surgery. Her physician's team of independent anesthesiologists refused to participate in the surgery. As a result of this, the nearest hospital with the required facility, that is UHII and Victoria Jubilee Hospital, were contacted again, but both again refused to accept the patient. AMH was eventually able to secure a transfer of the patient to the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine, where she delivered her baby after collaboration with the National Emergency Operations Center, the EOC. We understand that after delivering her baby, she was transferred to the UHII, the University Hospital of the West Indies in Kingston, where she passed away. AMH cannot comment on the care the patient received at other hospitals. In its many years of operation, AMH has always ensured the highest quality treatment for patients with the resources available. During this difficult time for our nation, AMH plays its part by accepting non-COVID-19 patients in medicine, gynecology, and obstetrics, OBGYN, right? General surgery, neurosurgery, neurology, gastroenterology, urology, and cardiology from other hospitals. Our outpatient and emergency department, our laboratories and diagnostic services also continue to serve the public. We once again wish to reassure the public, our patients and our staff, that we will always put their safety and health first, and we remain committed to our service standards. The end. Okay, guys, so you've heard Andrews Memorial Hospital's statement. What do you think? What do you think? Now we've heard their side. Of course, you can never listen to one side of a story, right? But now this raises a lot more questions, doesn't it? Because on the one hand, right? Okay, so they've issued their statement and they've told their side of the story as to what happened. Now we have bigger problems, don't it? Because here it is that we're seeing we're in two hospitals that are prominent in corporate Jamaica, right? In Kingston, Jamaica, the University Hospital of the West Indies, which is a teaching hospital, right? You know that, right? That's University of the West Indies, University Hospital of the West Indies. It's a teaching hospital, okay? And here it is, you have the Victoria Jubilee Hospital, which is a maternity hospital, right? Which are basically supposed, especially the Jubilee Hospital, is supposed to accept maternity women, right? They're supposed to accept mothers who are pregnant. And here it is. We are told that when contacted, both hospitals turned down the request. They did not accept this woman, this young girl. I don't know her age because I hear some people say she's 24, some she says she's 26. I have not heard the mother give the actual age, so I'll wait for that before I give you her actual age. I have to get my facts straight before I give them to you. So this young woman in her 20s, this is her first child, the mother said. And apparently, guys, the mother is not even in Jamaica. It seems that the mother is overseas, which makes it even more a sad story. It appears that way to me, based on the comments that were made on her account, her Twitter account, suggested that she is in the US because she, on 3 days ago, she wanted to go jog in the park in New York City. So she's in New York City, and as far as I know, our borders are still closed. So as far as I know, she should still be in New York. So this mother is overseas while her daughter dies in a hospital in Jamaica. Do you know how sad that is for a mother to lose her child like that, guys? Over something that seems that it could have been prevented, because it seems to us based on what we are hearing, that they had to do a C-section. So it's her first child. There was complications apparently. She needed to do C-section. That means they had to cut her. She couldn't have a normal birth, right? So you know the complications with that. For women who've had C-section, I've never had one, but I've heard and I've seen, right, that persons who've had C-section, it's not an easy thing to do. And I can imagine you can use your imagination, someone having a C-section, right? There's so many complications involved with that. There's so many things that can happen, infection that you can develop. We are already dealing with an infection, the COVID-19, and to deal with another one because you have a C-section. Oh my God, right? And then that is just one side of the coin. Then you also have to think about the fact that as we understand, the mother is saying that her daughter does not have COVID-19. Now we know we can't depend on the mother's account of that because the mother is overseas, if she is overseas, right? But we would have to hear more. But according to what we hear, she did not have COVID-19. So if it is that she did not have COVID-19, but only had COVID-19 like symptoms, which is, as I said to you yesterday and the day before when I had my previous episodes, I was saying to you guys that we are in flu season. This is flu season. And if influenza has not gone away, it is still there. So therefore, when people sneeze or cough, it doesn't mean it's COVID-19, guys, right? It doesn't mean that. And I have a temperature. So here it is. She probably had the regular flu or something. It might not be COVID-19 for all we know. And she lost her life because persons were afraid that she might have COVID-19. Mm? Oh my God. I mean, guys, this is just, the story is so sad. The story is so sad. I know. You just want to, you, my heart goes out to the mother. I think her name is Portia, based on what I saw on Twitter. Portia, our hearts are with you. They have since, guys, created a hashtag Justice for Jordan. Jodian, sorry, Justice for Jordan has been circulating on social media. I'm sure you might have seen it. If not, you will be seeing it because it has been circulating. Justice for Jodian, because of the fact that because of what happened. And I know people are going to pay dearly for this. Again, guys, we have to think. We have to show love and compassion. Where is our love and compassion? I'm sure we're going to get a statement from University Hospital, the West Indies, and we're going to get one from the Victoria Jubilee Hospital also. We know that. And we might even get one from the Spanish Town Hospital too. Right? Everybody has a statement. And then what we're going to do, we're going to read all of them, listen to all of them, and then we're going to make informed decisions based on that. Right, guys? But as of right now, based on what we've heard enough to recognize that something went wrong in the health system that we supposed to trust to take care of us. And it broke down. That system broke down. And with COVID-19, again, a revealer, I keep on saying it, COVID-19 is a blessing in disguise because it is a revealer. It has been exposing so many things. It's been exposing the good. It has been exposing the bad. Right? And so we see here where the system broke down and a young lady lost her life. And our sincere prayers and condolences to the family, Mom, Portia, and other relatives. This child is going to grow up without knowing his or her mother, because we still don't know if it's a boy or a girl baby, right? But this child is going to be growing up without her mother, and that's not a good thing. That's never a good thing. So our hearts are with you. hmm. Yep, guys. Yep. I'm sorry to lay down until you tick like that, but a story like that deserves that, right? And more, because it's just a heart-rending story, really. And there's so much more to it. Yeah. So as the week progresses, and as we hear more, and as I hear more, you will be hearing more about this from me. Yeah. All right. So some good news. Some good news. Yes. Let us lighten up the mood. Lighten up the mood. I can't lay it on thick and not lighten up the mood for you, right? So I have to give you some good news. Yeah. So guys, listen up. hmm According to sorry, where is it? Have I lost it? Hmm. Yeah, okay. According to Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clarke, the COVID-19 allocation of resources for employees, the the care program, that stimulus package that we all were excited about and, heard so much about and wanted to, get that little money in our pockets. Well, according to the finance minister, the care program is the largest and broadest social intervention program in Jamaica's history, having received over 500,000 applications. And you're going to be like, so where's the good news? Don't worry. Wait, man. Patience. Gotta have patience. Yeah. So, over 500,000 applications they received, guys. More than 500,000 of Jamaicans applied for the care program. Can you imagine? All right. That alone is a story in itself, isn't it? That's an issue right there. Okay. All right. Continuing. According to the minister, since Friday, the 24th of April, that's last week Friday, right? Applicants started receiving emails and text messages informing them of the status of their applications. And I can attest to that because I too applied and I too got my text message. Yes. So he also stated that applicants of the compassionate and the set grants, yeah, should start receiving their grants by April 30, 2020. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it for you. Yeah. Yeah, I have my brochure here. You gotta have a brochure, the guy. They come in very handy, very handy your brochure. So the set grant was the supporting employees with transfer of cash. That was the set grant, right? And that was for let me tell you what was for employees persons who were employed prior to March 10th, and they paid statutory deductions. So basically, these were for employees. You were working before March 10th. March 10th is our benchmark because March 10th is when we had our first case of the COVID-19, right, in Jamaica. So that's our benchmark. So persons who were working prior to March 10th and they were paying statutory deductions, the NIS, NHT, and all that good stuff, right? Persons who were who were working and got laid off, right? Or persons who were laid off or terminated after March 10th, but before June 30th. So basically, after March 10th up to now, this period, right? Those persons also could have to show evidence that they were working, right? and persons who had taxable income that was less or equal to $1.5 million per year as verified by the tax administration, right? So that was the criteria for the set grant. And the compassionate care grant, already it's for those persons who didn't fall in any of the ministers' categories. So those persons also. So for those two groups, guys, basically, the minister says by the end of this month, that is The month is ending, guys, on the 30th. Because you know it's 30 days in April. So Thursday will be the 30th. So by Thursday of this week, all the compassionate grants and the set grants will start disbursing. People start getting money in their pocket. Right. The minister, however, stated that only persons, right, who qualify. So you have to qualify. If you don't qualify, then you're not going to be able to partake. So they check your eligibility. And if you're eligible, that means you qualify, then the checks will be disbursed. Okay. And of course, they issue a number. I'm going to give you the number to call after I'm finished with the story. So the minister, right, said, if you applied for a compassionate grant and your TRN appears on current payroll returns submitted to the tax administrator of Jamaica, you will be notified via email or text, which means you do not qualify. If you applied for the set grant and your former employer, okay, let me repeat that. If you applied for the set grant, your former employer is required to upload what is called the P45 form to the TAJ's website to verify your employment status. Okay, so if you were working, as we said, before March 10th, right, you would have been paying taxes. So the employer, I hope they were paying that money over to the government, because we know how that goes, right? So if they took money from you and said that they pay tax on your behalf, that means they should have paid it to the government, right? And if they did that, then they were supposed to upload the P45 form to the TAJ's website to verify your employment status. So you will be notified by a computer-generated email or text message if your former employer did not upload it. So you will know whether or not they were paying tax on your behalf. So that's another story right there, isn't it? Isn't it? So, yeah. If you applied and your former employer did not upload that P45 form, you will get a text message or an email, depending on what medium you chose, what media you chose when you applied for the grant, right? So you will get either an email or a text message. All right. If there's an error found in your bank info, or if you submitted banking info with a name on the account that differs from your application, you'll be notified. So, okay, on the one hand, you fill out the application and your name is Tom Jones, yeah? But then your bank account says Thomas Jones. You're going to get a call. Not a call, you're going to get an email or a text. Because that is two different names. You might say, okay, but Tom and Thomas is the same thing. It's either Tom on both or Thomas on both, but it can't be Tom and Thomas. That's two different names. So you'll be getting a call. No, sorry, I keep saying that. Not a call, you'll be getting a text message. A matter of fact, you can't reply to it either because it's a computer-generated message. That's why the minister made sure he emphasized it's a computer-generated message. So do not try to reply. Okay. All right, so you'll be getting that text or that email. Okay. You can also track your application on the website, right? That is the weekhere.gov.jm website. That's where you went to apply in the first instance. So you can track the process and track the status of your application by going to that website, okay? Remember, if you have questions, you can also call, and I'll give you the number to call in a second. Just want to finish what the minister said. Okay, so the minister also said, compassionate and set cash grants comprise of 90% of the applications received. 90% of the over 500,000 applications received were for the compassionate and set grants, which is why they're doing it first and get it out of the way. Yeah. He said those persons who elected to receive the grants via remittance are asked to practice social distancing and observe health protocols and follow the directions of the remittance company when they go to collect, to ensure safety of self and safety of others. Okay. All right, your application reference number and a government issued ID is also necessary when you're going to pick up your at the remittance agency. Okay. The minister says all other grants, because remember the SET grant and the compassionate care grant, both of them comprise 90%, right? Over 90%. So the other less than 10% will be processed starting early May. So by Friday or next week Monday, all the other grants will be processed, or they will start the processing of those applications. All right, guys? Just so you understand. The minister says the care program was designed with the critical social mission of providing support to the most vulnerable in our society in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Right. And he ended his speech by saying, "We care and help is on the way." Now, for concerns, for questions, and all that, you can call the 888-4WE-CARE phone number. That is 888-493-2273. So if you got a text or you got an email, or if you didn't get a text and didn't get an email, so you have questions, okay, this number is the number to call, 888-493-2273. All right. So ensure to do your follow-up, so you cross your T's and dot your I's to ensure that nothing prevents you from receiving the little stimulus that was offered, by the government. It's not much, but it can certainly buy some food, right? Put some food on the table, right? Okay. All right, so I'm not going to say much more on that. I think I said a lot on that. The minister said it all. Okay. Continuing now. This is a story I want to get to. Another story that I want to get to. Jamaica has climbed 2 places on the World Press Freedom Index, according to Reporters Without Borders. According to them, Jamaica is now 66. We were number 8. And I noticed that the list has not been updated, which is why I did not give it our number or a specific number, because when I look at the list that is actually online, it was still saying number 8. And at number 8, we were 11.13 point, 11.13 point. But we know we're not there because we went up 2 spaces, which means our score should have fallen, right? So I did not give you that number because I did not have a new number to give to you. So we are ahead of countries like Australia, France, and the United Kingdom. Norway is in the number 1 position. Their 7.82, and I imagine that is not correct either, but their score is very small, right? The USA, Israel, and Grenada, there's no data. So I'm going to talk about this in a second, guys. Don't worry. USA, listen. The USA, Israel, and Grenada, they're at the bottom of the list because they have no data on these 3 countries in terms of their press. Yeah, they're journalists. Okay. While North Korea and Turkmenistan, in terms of the numbers, because you have a list of numbers, so that's where the numbers stop. After that, there's no number, right? So where the number stops is at Turkmenistan and North Korea. Turkmenistan their number is 85, and North Korea's number is 23, right? So a smaller score on the report corresponds to greater freedom of the press. So in Jamaica, the politicians were very excited about this. And the senator, the Honourable Kamina Johnson-Smith, in the Senate, she was talking about it, right? Senator Robert Nestor Morgan was tweeting about it. So he was like, "Oh, Jamaica is among the countries that most respect freedom of information. No serious act of violence or threat to media freedom has been reported." And that he took out of the report and tweeted it. I am going to read a little statement from that report. Guys, I really don't think it is something that one should be celebrating because you have a small score on the Freedom of the Press Index. All right, so let me tell you this, why I said that. So The Press Freedom Index is an annual ranking of countries compiled and published by Reporters Without Borders, based upon the organization's own assessment of the country's press freedom records in the previous year, right? The intent of it is to reflect the degree of freedom that journalists, news organizations, and netizens have in each country, and the efforts being made by authorities to respect this freedom. Yeah? Reporters Without Borders is careful to note that the index only deals with press freedom and does not measure the quality of journalism, nor does it look at human rights violations in general. Okay. They say the report is partly based on a questionnaire which asks questions about things like pluralism, right, media independence, censorship, right, transparency. Man, this sneeze refused to come. Why is the sneeze not coming? It's just there, guys. You see, from the beginning of the program, I've wanted to sneeze. The sneeze is still there, won't come. The sneeze is shy. You might think I have COVID-19. The sneeze don't want to come. Oh, boy. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me. It's just allergies, by the way, just for those who don't know. You know, it's allergies, yeah. Mm-hmm. Where was I? Mm-hmm. I was saying that it also includes violations of the free flow of information on the internet, violence against journalists, netizens, and media assistants, including abuses attributable to the state, armed militias, clandestine organizations, or pressure groups. Okay, these are all monitored by Reporters Without Borders. Yeah. During the year, and are also part of the final score. A smaller score on the report corresponds to greater freedom of the press as reported by the organization. Okay. The questionnaire is sent to Reporters Without Borders partner organizations, 18 freedom of expression non-governmental organizations located in 5 continents. Its 150 correspondents around the world include journalists, researchers, jurists, and human rights activists. And based on the data collected, a score and a position or rank, complementary indicators that together assess the state of media freedom are then assigned to each country in the final report. Some countries are excluded from the report because of a lack of reliable or confirmed information. So you understand why there is no data for some countries, because they have been excluded because of a lack of reliable or confirmed information. Okay. All right, so guys, based on what I've just said, and you can figure it out for yourself, right? You realize, you understand why Jamaica is up there? Hmm? You recognize that we're not doing any serious investigative journalism in this country? Hmm? When you see politicians in our country are rejoicing at our number, at us going up high on that list, it tells you guys, we're not doing any serious investigative journalism in this country. Journalists and politicians are not friends. When it comes to the news I'm referring to, I don't mean outside of your avocation or your vocation. I'm saying when it comes to reporting the news, you are nobody. Yes, friend. Yeah? You're supposed to report the news objectively, not subjectively. You don't pick a side and you report that side, and you pick another side and report that side. That's not what journalism is all about, guys. Yeah? And I guarantee you, if you guys were really practicing journalism, being objective, doing real hardcore investigative journalism, I guarantee you, your score would not be 6 on that list. It would not be. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I don't think it deserves any much more of my time, because you guys know yourselves and you know it's full time. It's high time. It's high time that we start to have some real serious investigative journalism in this country. There are too many things going on. I mean, look at this, for example. This girl, right, was kidnapped. We don't know. Yes, she was kidnapped. We can safely say she was kidnapped. If she's dead or alive, we don't know. right? I told you yesterday, go back and watch my program yesterday, that the police arrested two persons were arrested in connection with her disappearance, right? We're talking about Jasmine Deans. If you don't know by now, I'm referring to Jasmine Deans. She is visually impaired, right? She's visually impaired, which basically is going to bring me to the next story that I'm going to read to you, right? But she's, and this is the reason for that story. She is visually impaired, right? She has a disability, right? She has a disability, and yet there no one can give us any concrete information about her disappearance. We have no actual well, I don't know because I don't see it, journalist who is actually on that case. I do really serious investigation. Let me investigate what is happening. You talk to the police, you talk to parents, you talk to family, you talk to everybody, you talk to the MP in the area, you talk to the school, you do some serious investigation, right? I have seen and heard, okay, when I was actually doing my degree in journalism, right? I have seen and heard stories where journalists were able to solve cases for the police. By the time they finished their investigative journalism, they were solving the case on behalf of the police department. It happens. That's what happens when you do real serious journalism, real serious investigative journalism. Yeah. So that's all I'm gonna say on that with regard to us not really doing serious investigative journalism. Okay, so I say that to say I'm going to segue into what this other story now that I'm going to read for you. Okay, so last Friday, the Senate met last Friday. So it seems there's a segment of our society who have fallen through the cracks during this pandemic, and that's persons with disabilities. According to Senator Floyd Morris, in his presentation during the Senate debate on Friday, he said in his dialogue with his blind colleagues, that's what he called them, blind colleagues, right? They believe the government do not care about them. They say the government do not care because the government is implementing orders, right? And they're not thinking about them in terms of their impairments, whether they're visually impaired or hearing impaired. Yeah? Senator Morris stated that the consideration must be given for persons with disabilities to be able to access the ATMs, right? So that you go to the bank to go to use the ATM, you can see, for example. So you can type in your PIN number, for example. But I have not seen an ATM where if you are visually impaired, you can actually access the ATM. So it's quite correct, right? Also, online services, including government websites for persons who are visually impaired. So and I understand the reason for this concern, because in the process of completing the care application on the We Care website, again there was nothing there that would assist, right, persons who are visually impaired. And expansion in spaces, in addition to ramps for those who are wheelchair bound, right? And that is correct also, because you go into some of these places and let's use the ATM, you can hardly turn. The space is so narrow, it is so cramped. Clearly, it was not created with those who are wheelchair bound in mind. No, it was not created with that in mind, because you can't push a wheelchair in there, whether someone is pushing it for you or you're propelling it yourself. You can't. The space is too tiny. So again, when the powers that be, when they're implementing things, they're not thinking about persons who are, well, if they are thinking, because I understand from the senator, the Honourable Camino Johnson Smith, that they are thinking about the person with disabilities, which is the reason they have interpretation during Parliament, where persons can actually, or persons who are hearing impaired, can actually read the sign language, right, and know what's happening. And according to them also, according to her also, that's why when they're doing their PSA, their public service announcements, they have the words written across the screen for those persons who are hearing impaired. Again, what about the visually impaired? Yeah. So it's both sides have their arguments, right? But we know, we have seen with our own eyes, no one has to tell us that more needs to be done for persons with disabilities. Yeah? What do you think? Let me know in the comment box, right? Comment and let me know how you feel about this. Yeah? That's my 2 cents. Okay, and so now the final segment of our program today, guys. I'm gonna go overseas. Yeah, give you some international news. A long time you don't get some real international news. Yeah, what's going on out there? So as of today, right, April 27th, 2020. Here's what's happening overseas. So the Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, I like his name, Abe is adding 14 more countries to the entry ban list. So he has a list of countries that are banned from entering Japan, and now he has added 14 to that list. Meanwhile, South Korea malls reopening schools after the 26th straight day on the 100 new cases. So in almost a month, right, their cases, they are going down under 100. Yeah, there are new cases that they're having for the 26th straight day. Now, hear this one. China. China reports just 3 new virus cases. According to them, no deaths for the 12th day in a row. So in almost 2 weeks in China, no one has died, and they've only had 3 new virus cases. To be honest with you guys, I know I love my Chinese friends. Ni hao. Yeah. However, guys, I don't trust the Chinese government as far as I can throw them. I don't believe a word they tell me, and I'm sorry to say, but I don't. So, but that's what they say. So we're running with that. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay, so bringing it closer to home, there were more than 965,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the United States of America. You can imagine in the USA, almost 1 million confirmed cases of COVID-19. And that was as of this morning, at 8:20 this morning. So now it's almost 1 o'clock. So you can imagine that that number has really, maybe it has actually gone over the 1 million by now. But as of this morning at 8:20, the Johns Hopkins University reported that there were 965,000 confirmed cases. There have been more than 54,000 deaths in the US so far, and more than 207,000 worldwide. So, you know, the global total of confirmed COVID-19 cases is now 2.9 million. And I guarantee you that by tomorrow, if I should get that information and give it to you, it would have been over 3 million of confirmed COVID-19 cases worldwide. For most, the virus causes mild or moderate symptoms such as fever and cough that clears up in 2 to 3 weeks. For some, especially older adults and people with existing health problems, it can cause more severe illness or death. Yeah. Excuse me. And in an ad published in the Washington Post, the New York Times, and the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, John H. Tyson, you know Tyson Foods, guys, popular brand Tyson Foods, the chairman of Tyson Foods said that the food supply is breaking. He says in small communities around the country where we employ over 100,000 hardworking men and women, we're being forced to shut our doors. This means one thing, the food supply is vulnerable. Tyson Foods has already been forced to close pork plants in Waterloo, Iowa, and Logansport in Indiana last week so that workers could be tested for the virus. They said that it has given them, he said that given these challenges, there will be a limited supply of products available in grocery stores. Okay, all right, so as he said that, you know that I have not gotten the full story, so that's why I didn't get that story, but I'll have more for you tomorrow. That they say that KFC here in Jamaica is closing down some stores and laying off some people. Like I said, I have not heard the full story to that one. That's why I'm not giving it to you. But by tomorrow, I should have more details, so I'll let you know. I know all my KFC friends out there, they are crying if this is true. They are balling because I know so many persons who love KFC. But guys, hello, it's about the trans fat man. Yes, it's a good thing. I tell you, COVID-19 is a blessing in disguise because you were having too much trans fat in your body. Cholesterol levels was going up too high. Your BMI was getting too high. It must not be over 25. And check your BMI right now. You know how to check your BMI, right? Okay, one of these days I'll tell you if you don't know. All right, so, and last but not least, guys, back at work, Boris Johnson, British Prime Minister, he is back at work, guys. He urges patience over the UK lockdown. He says Britain is at a dangerous stage in the coronavirus outbreak, and easing social and economic restrictions too soon would create a second spike of infections. Johnson spoke to the nation on his first day back at work after recovering from the COVID-19. He said, quote, the end of the first phase of this conflict, he said the UK, is reaching the end of the first phase of this conflict, but warned that a quick end to the lockdown was not in sight. We simply cannot spell out now how fast or how slow, even when restrictions would be loosened. End quote. All right, so we are happy that the Prime Minister has returned to office. He has recovered from the COVID-19, one of those recoveries. To God be the glory. We thank God for that. Amen. And for all our recoveries all over the world. We thank God for you. And guys, we're going to remind you that when these persons return to the community, when they return home, do not ostracize them, do not treat them any less than, do not act as though you are better than, and do not act as though they have that they're lepers and have leprosy. Do not do that, okay? And do not try to stone their houses and burn down their houses, etc. Just treat it as though they just had the common flu and they got over the flu and now they're back home, okay? All right. They're your fellow men. They're your brothers and sisters. One nation, right? One nation under God. One nation. One nation. Not US, not England, not Jamaica, not Israel, not South Africa, not Nigeria, not Asia, okay, nor Europe. It's one nation under God. All right, we are one human race, one race under God. We are one race, all of us. We might be located in different places, okay, and history will tell us why that is, right? But we're one people, and we must show love and compassion for each and every person, okay? I cannot emphasize it enough. COVID-19 is a disruptor. It has come to teach us a lot of things. And like I said it before, and I say it again, until we start to learn our lessons, COVID-19 is going nowhere. Okay? We need to start to learn how to be humans again. Yeah? We had to learn how to be humans again. There was too long when we were just like animals, guys. You know yourselves. You know who I'm talking. You know yourselves, okay? And God loves you. Yes, He loves you. That's why He's allowing this to shape you, to mold you, to build you. Because some of you were too arrogant. You know that, right? You were too full of self, too self-centered. You know that too, right? And we have to practice humility before God Almighty, our Creator. Yeah. We have to acknowledge Him. I hear people who before didn't even believe in God talking about God. Have you listened to the news and listened to every program? Oh, by the way, did you see the police in action yesterday in that concert? Oh my God. Oh, it was magnificent. Oh, the Jamaica Constable Force, the JCF, they did a splendid job. Right? I might mention it a little bit more tomorrow, telling you about some of the renditions that they did. Oh my God, it was so good. Right? But it was all about God. Everywhere you go, it's all about God. You turn the radio on, it's all about God. I don't think God has heard His name being called so many times in one month as He has heard this month, right? And it's not funny, guys. Okay, it's serious. We need to recognize our Creator. We need to recognize our purpose in this world, right? And we need to understand that we're all here for a purpose with a purpose. Okay, and one of our purposes is helping our brothers and our sisters who are less fortunate than ourselves, the more vulnerable in our society. We're supposed to look out for them. The least we do for them, we do it as unto the Lord, right? And God owes no man anything. So if you find yourself, okay, where God is indebted to you, listen to me, He's gonna pay you. And when He pays handsomely. above all that you could ever imagine. Yeah, I told you about my mango, right? Go and watch yesterday's episode and hear about my mango story. Oh my God, God is so good. He is so awesome, and all He wants, guys, is a relationship with Him. And it's not hard to have a relationship with Him. It's the easiest thing, and it doesn't matter who you are, right? Like I told you yesterday, He takes your mess and make a message out of it. Okay, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter. Let no pundit tell you otherwise. No religious pundit tell you otherwise. It does not matter. Okay, it doesn't matter where you are, because we are all on the spiritual journey. All of us, we are all on the spiritual journey. Every one of us. Okay, and so we all have to recognize where we are with our Creator, make it right with Him, okay, and live accordingly by loving Him and loving our brothers and our sisters in the world, right? Okay, all right. Well, guys, I thank you. I've come to the end of this episode for today. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. If it is that you liked what I said, okay, give it a thumbs up. Even if you don't like what I said, but you like the idea of the program, give it a thumbs up. Yeah. Share the link with your friends and your family that they too can participate and they too can actually learn some of what you learned today. Okay. And remember that I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can send me a message on Instagram and on Facebook, right? If you want to be on the show, or if you want me to speak about a particular topic, all right, and I will do so. Remember, guys, knowledge is nothing if it's kept to yourself. Knowledge must be shared, right? We have to share knowledge, all right, and that's why I'm here, for to give you information as a student of knowledge, speaking to another student of knowledge, because you're all students of knowledge also. We're just at different spectrum, different levels, okay, but we all are on the same journey of discovery, right? Absolutely. And so I share with you what I know, and comment, let me know what you think about what I have said. Okay, and remember, guys, subscribe. Oh my God, thank God, today no break. Lord, I love you. Okay, so we had a straight program with no interruptions today, which is awesome, right? Isn't it? Right. And so we thank God for that. We did not have a break today. We had a straight through program. But when you subscribe, guys, you know that if there was such a break, when I come back on, YouTube would have notified you anyway, and that I'm live, and then you could come on and see me live. All right. So, guys, I thank you for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. All my subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Everyone who has made it possible for me to do this program, I thank you. I appreciate you all. Love your family and friends. Okay. And even my enemies. And I don't have any enemies really. My enemies are just friends who don't know that they're my friends. Yes. Okay. So I thank you all. I love you all. I appreciate you. And remember, guys, as always, I will see you tomorrow, God willing, at 12 noon. Okay. And remember, as always, stay blessed and be a blessing. Love you. Bye.